so your worked example should look like this. So it's worked examples, what page it's on, and it's all to do with enlargement. So this is your question, how you will write it out. And these are your 8x8 blocks, which we told you about earlier. So these are your 8x8 blocks. Answer, the reason why you're doing it, how you get the new length. So remember, it said that it's enlarged by a factor of 2. So that's why I did these in color for you, so that you know what you are enlarging it by. Okay. And then this is your final answer in color. Please paste that in. And then you start with number 2, please, on the same page. 277. So it is this one here. So it's going to look pretty much the same as what you've done already. So it is, the small triangle below has been enlarged. Calculate the factor of enlargement of the bigger shape. So now you're going to write the question. You're going to put the 2 next to each other or underneath each other, however you want to do it. Okay? And you need to figure out how much they have been enlarged by. So you're going to start looking at the length and the breadth of your triangle. So the length, how tall it is, and the breadth. So what was the original length? 2 blocks. And BC covers 2 blocks. But then DE went up to 4 blocks, and DF went up to, EF, went up to 4 blocks. So what was the enlargement factor? 2. So we times 2 by 2. So our answer is 2, the enlargement factor. And that's how you work it out. It's on the other side. Okay. Okay, so you should have enlargements and reductions. The note on enlarging shapes, that should be there. And then you should have the worked examples, so that is on page 277. So on the worked examples you should have from here till there, which is basically these worked examples here. So it is there, and it's explaining basically that if you have 3 blocks long, so these are the 3 blocks, and if you have 2 blocks wide, it's 2 blocks down. And when it is increasing by a factor of 2, that means that your numbers are just going to increase by 2. So instead of having 3 there, you're now going to have 6. And instead of having 2 there, you're now going to have 4. So it was enlarged by a factor of 2. So that's an enlargement. When you are doing the second question, it is supposed to be talking about how to find the factor of enlargement. So instead of drawing it now, you're going to actually have to find the factor of enlargement. So that is when you're writing down the question. And it's also in your textbook, so you can just look there. So they've drawn the 2 different triangles. You're going to count, okay, from here, from B till A, it is 2 blocks, 2 blocks that way, and 2 blocks that way. So they're all 2 blocks. Over here for D, so it's DE is 4 blocks, EF is 4 blocks, and DF is 4 blocks. And you can just write the same thing here. Instead of rewriting everything, you can actually just say measure the sides of the triangles and count how many blocks each covers. So what's going to happen now is you're going to take DE, so this line here, so take DE and divide it by AB. So DE is 4 blocks, AB is 2 blocks, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so that's how we're getting the factor of enlargement. So you're going to take the side of the large triangle and divide it by the side of the small triangle to get the factor of enlargement. And then your final answer is the factor of enlargement is 2, because you're getting 2 as your answer all the time here. Okay, so that's the one side. And then we've got the reducing shapes. So when you are reducing shapes, you're actually making them smaller. the sides are the same, so it's basically the same as enlarging shapes, but now you're just making it smaller. So the factor of reduction, that is how much smaller the shape is going to become, but you have to divide. So it's now, if you're having a factor of 2, the factor of 2 is now making the shape half of the size that it originally was. So when you write your worked example, so please pause and make sure you've written this down, and everything that you have so far needs to be written down. And then for the worked example on page 279, you've got the question. You've got 6 blocks wide, so there's the 6 blocks, and then you've got 3 blocks high, so that's how tall it is. And you need to make sure that it is reduced by a factor of 3. So you're now going to take this shape and make it smaller by a factor of 3. So take the 6 blocks going that way, divided by 3, you're going to get 2. So you're going to see here I've got 2 going that way, and the height is when I have got 1 block in height, so that's that block there. So what I've told most of the children here is that when you are doing your original shape that they've given you, so if you've got this as your original shape, you draw it in pencil first, and then you draw your answer in color. So what's going to happen now when we do the exercises, you're going to draw the original shape for me in pencil, and you're going to put in color or in pen the answer, so that you know that that was a reduction or a enlargement. So we are now going to move on to exercise 1. So when you go to exercise 1, just make sure that you take your new page. So you should have taken the 1 and cut it up. The other one, the other grid paper, you're going to use, and you are going to write or draw the original in the 8 by, and then after that you are going to enlarge it by a factor of 3, and your answer is going to be in color. That I want you to do for me now quickly. So that is exercise 1 on page 278.